Hi guys, today I'm going to teach you a super easy mnemonic so you never forget what diseases fall under the 3 lab categories of anemia. Just before we start, a quick recap of the terms. Microcytic is small red blood cells with a low mean cell volume or MCV. Normocytic is normal sized cells, and macrocytic are large red blood cells with a high MCV. So the mnemonic is based on a genie. Microcytic diseases are the tail of the genie, and the mnemonic is tails. Then we've got normocytic, which is both arms. Then we've got macrocytic, and that's just the idea of the genie being fat. If you remember the genie in Aladdin, when he becomes very fat, that's what we're imagining. That's what I've drawn. Okay, for the microcytic anemia, so you've got thalassemia, anemia of chronic disease, iron deficiency, lead poisoning, and sideroblastic anemia. For your normocytic, we've got both arms, so B for blood loss, specifically acute, aplastic anemia, renal disease, malaria, then sickle cell disease. Then we've got the macrocytic anemias, and F is for folate deficiency, A, alcohol abuse, and then T is the 12 in vitamin B12. Okay, so now we're just going to run through the key terms that identify each category. So we'll firstly start with iron deficiency. This is the most easiest one to detect because it will show low ferritin levels. Ferritin is the storage form of iron, and it will show high total iron binding capacity, which shows that the body is trying to bind more iron. So that's why there's high TIBC. Then we're going to look at thalassemia. Usually keywords are from Mediterranean background or Southeast Asian ethnicity. With lead poisoning, it usually shows up in kids, painters, anyone exposed to batteries or old buildings. But the giveaway on a blood smear is basophilic stippling. Then for sideroblastic anemia, this is a bit rare, but you will see high iron and a classic ring sideroblast on bone marrow. Then with anemia of chronic disease, your ferritin would be normal or even high, but your total iron binding capacity is low. Okay, so for normocytic anemia, the first thing you want to look at is reticulocyte count. Reticulocytes are the baby red blood cells, so low numbers usually mean the bone marrow is not producing new cells. So low reticulocytes are usually a bone marrow failure, production failure. So your conditions like aplastic anemia or renal failure come in. And with malaria, sickle cell disease, and acute blood loss, these are going to show up with high reticulocytes because the bone marrow is going to be producing more red blood cells to make up for the loss of cells. Okay, then with macrocytic anemia, that's just about figuring out if it's megaloblastic or non-megaloblastic anemia. Megaloblastic means that there's a DNA synthesis problem, and the key giveaway is hypersegmented neutrophils on blood film. So megaloblastic would include low folate or low B12, and these will show up with hypersegmented neutrophils. And non-megaloblastic is usually alcohol abuse, hypothyroidism. Okay, so that concludes the video today. Thank you.